right. Well, so Ross Hill with Bank2, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you guys.
What do you think of our list of money wasters just a minute ago?
I couldn't agree with them more. Unfortunately, I'm one of those cars in line at Starbucks every morning.
Oh,
what's probably worse, though, than being the car in line at Starbucks is being the car in line at Starbucks, putting it on your credit card.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's dangerous.
So, yes,
very dangerous.
You compiled a list for us. How do you know if you have a credit card problem?
Well, you know, it's amazing how many people carry excessive credit cards. You know, do you have more than 2 in your purse?
Do I personally?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Okay, Janet,
I don't use them.
I do not.
Good for Janet.
See?
All right.
I don't
pat
use them
myself
all
on the
time.
back.
There you go.
That's
Thank you.
great.
So will I.
You know what the tendency is to have multiple credit cards and to use them all, and then at the end of the month you've got 3, 4, 5 different bills. The average American has 6 to 8 credit cards.
Well, and you know, I think it's hard also if you have 3 or 4 and you're paying minimum balances on them, and then you're like, well, I got to pay 30 to this one, I got to pay 60 to this one, you know, I got to pay 45 to this one, and now you can't make more than minimums because you've had to spread it out.
That's right, and making the minimum credit card payment is absolutely a death nail in the coffin. It's projected by some that depending on your balance, it could take as many as 30 years to pay off your credit card if you're making the minimum payment. Well, who wants to take 30 years to pay off their credit card?
Pay off your house faster than you pay
That's
off your
right.
credit
Yeah,
cards,
yeah,
you
you
know?
can.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Most people don't understand that. It's easy, it's simple, it's a fairly low payment, so they write it without thinking about it, and they write it without imagining and contemplating the cost of the interest on that. The vast majority of that payment is going to interest. There's a reason credit card companies and banks and financial institutions all have nice buildings. They make a lot of money.
They make a lot of money off of
They
you.
make a lot of money. That's right. So, yeah. What were some of the other things on the list? We had it on a screen if we want to put it back up.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, paying other debts with your credit card, that is a killer.
Paying a credit card with the credit card.
That's right. And people make cash advances to do that all the time. They make cash advances to pay for their vacation, which in a sense is paying another bill. But people use it to pay their utility bills and other bills that they have. And that, again, that's a sign you're spending more than what you're taking in.
That's dangerous.
And that's a dangerous road to go down.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, someday you're going to have to pay the piper. And it usually ends up in financial disaster if you don't stop doing that.
Yikes, yikes, yikes. Yeah. I think that we had 2 more points if we want to show those. Okay, so do you use them to buy groceries? I wouldn't have thought of that, groceries.
You know, when I first got married to my husband and we were looking at all, you know, all of his credit card problems, and I said, how many other girlfriends am I paying for their dinners, because you put it on here, how many times am I paying for gas that you've put on your credit card and groceries that you've put on your credit card? You know, stuff like that adds up.
Yeah.
And the hair salon.
And you have nothing. You have
right.
nothing to show for it.
And the hair salons, all of these frivolous, consumer-oriented things that we mount debt on top of debt actually handicaps us and hurts us, and in the end, it costs us a lot. And the telling question in all of these is, can you account for your balances? If you pull all your credit cards today, can you look at your credit card statements and can you account for every dime that's on there?
Ooh,
when most people,
that's a hard one.
Wow, yeah.
You know, most people take that test, and at the end of the test, they can only account for about 20%, maybe 25% of what that balance represents. So if they have $2,000 balance, they can come up with the items that maybe cost as much as $500. But the difference, they can't figure out what they spent that money on. Well, when you get your house payment due every month, you know what you bought. It's worth something, and it should be appreciating over time. But when you have a credit card balance and they just grow and they climb and you can't even imagine what you spent that money on, it's handicapping you. It's making you a slave, is what, at the end of the day, all of these things make you a slave. Another great question that's not on the screen to ask yourself is, are my credit card balances higher today than they were last year? If they are, that is a death nail again, and you are headed for financial disaster. And the thing you need to do is stop using the credit cards. just stop,
it.
today.
Just stop it. Cut them up.
And start using cash.
All right.
That's right.
Good advice. And I know you've got more information on your website, rossahill.com.
Right.
So there it is on your screen. Go and check it out. It's good to see you. Thanks
Good to
so
see
much.
you guys.
You
Thank
always
you.
put me in financial check, and I like it. So you're keeping me in track here. So
Great to be here.
Thanks a lot. All right. Well, stay with us. When we come back, we're going to talk about that favorite kind of race that we all like to do, eat, and then you run.
Yeah.
So we'll see what kind of trouble this can spell. Stay with us.
Sounds like a great race.
Till you finally see that you belong with me.